Hello everyone and thank you for patiently waiting. My name's Josh from Career Map TV and I'll be your host. Today we're joined by JLR who are going to talk to you all about apprenticeships. We have dedicated Q&A section at the end, so please feel free to pop any questions in the chat box as we go through. So without further ado, I'll now pass it over.
Thank you. So really looking forward to being with you all here today, especially to celebrate National Apprenticeship Week. So my name is Chantal and I'm the Early Careers Apprentice Recruitment Lead at JLR. So to start off with, we're going to talk to you more about the brands who JLR. So we are focused on evolving the world of modern automotive luxury. We are creating era-defining vehicles across 4 distinct brands. So we are known as being a house of brands. So we have Range Rover, Defender, Discovery and Jaguar. And each of our brands are truly distinct. They embrace modern design philosophy and are emotionally compelling and unique. So we're a global brand, so we have facilities across the world, including Slovakia, China, India, and more. So we have 40,000 employees globally. Our headquarters is located in Warwickshire in the West Midlands, so our Gaydon facility. And a large proportion of our apprenticeship roles will be based within the West Midlands. And we also have a number of roles that are going to be based in addition to our West Midlands roles in our Halewood site in Liverpool. So in terms of the apprenticeships that we do have on offer, really there is no better time to start a journey with us than right now. So an apprenticeship at JLR, it really does open doors to innovation and technology like no other. It enhances your skills, engaging your curiosity. So apprentices, when they join us, they surround themselves with other ambitious teammates, working together on projects that are fundamentally shaping the vehicles of the future. And throughout your apprenticeship programme, you're gaining practical hands-on experience from the very beginning. And that is supported by nationally recognised qualifications accredited by the Institute of Apprenticeships and Technical Education. So as you can see on screen here, we've got a range of fantastic opportunities available for you. So our Level 3 Advanced Apprenticeship, our Level 6 Applied Professional Engineering Degree Apprenticeship, our Level 7 Finance Apprenticeship, our Level 6 Digital and Technology Solutions Degree Apprenticeship, and our Level 6 Supply Chain and Procurement Degree Apprenticeship as well. So we have a fantastic range, as you can see on screen there, and that is a fantastic range whether you are completing your GCSEs or your A-levels, or you're looking to pursue a career change. There is definitely an option for you there to go on your journey and achieve the exceptional with us. So in terms of to move on, we are excited to be able to share with you that today our roles are open for application, which is fantastic to be going on that journey, especially with it being National Apprenticeship Week. So all of our apprenticeship programmes, other than our Finance Apprenticeship, which has already went live for our 2025 programme. So this opened and closed in October of 2024. But if you are interested in the Finance Apprenticeship programme from 2026 and beyond, you'll still be able to go and register your interest on our website. But one of the things is that the roles will close on the 24th or the 3rd of March, dependent on the pathway. So please do visit our website to have a further understanding in terms of the roles that you're looking for, when the application date is, so that you don't miss out on it. And then in late March and April, we will conduct our virtual assessment centres, and then all of our apprentices then will join us in September. So one of the things at this stage that's really important to remind you all is that you're only able to make one application per our recruitment cycle. So please do make sure when you visit the website that you spend time exploring more around what that role and what that pathway includes, to make sure that you find the programme that is best suited to your interests, and also would really encourage that you don't delay your application as part of thinking that this is a role for you. So what we're going to spend some time covering across our section today, we're going to be talking to you more around the apprenticeship programs that we have, and also you've got a fantastic opportunity to hear from 4 apprentices around their journey and experience. So definitely, as those apprentices are talking around their journey, please do ask your questions because that is going to be a fantastic opportunity at the end to really understand more around their experiences. So now let's get into the programs. So firstly, we're going to talk to you about our Level 3 apprenticeship, and this is really suited to those who enjoy hands-on practical work. This is the only role that you'll be able to apply to straight from completing GCSEs. So this will be the programme. If you're just in year 11 wanting to start an apprenticeship in September, this would be the role that you would be looking for. So in terms of this apprenticeship programme, it is a 4-year programme where in the first year you spend most of your first year at a training provider, and that's where you're really learning engineering skills and principles and really focusing on how to work safely, which is really important in the facilities that we work on. The following years of your apprenticeship programme, you'll spend shorter amount of time at the training provider, and then you'll be learning how to apply your skills in the workplace from the training and the courses that you've been undertaking. So with this particular apprenticeship programme, you can join us working within our manufacturing, our creative, or also known as the design teams, our engineering teams, or our property teams. And we have roles here located across the West Midlands and our Halewood site in Liverpool. So for this programme, what are the things that you could get involved in? So dependent on the pathway that you do choose, you might get involved in aspects such as critical, preventative or reactive maintenance to ensure that our production lines keep operating and keep producing the vehicles at the volume that we need. You might be involved in things such as fitting brackets, learning new trades such as electrical skills in soldering, assembly of electronics and components, tooling, welding or fault finding. And you might also do things such as fault diagnosis and repair on technology such systems such as mechanical equipment. But really, whichever pathway that you do choose, you will be working on your problem solving, your fault finding and your team working. So really what we wanted to do now was hand over to one of our apprentices who's going to share their experience and journey on the programme. So over to yourself, Hannah.
Hello, thank you, Chantal. As Chantal just mentioned, my name is Hannah and I am one of the Level 3 Advanced Apprentices here at Jaguar Land Rover. My journey for an apprenticeship started in 2021, so I'm actually in my last year, 4th year of my apprenticeship now. Before I get on to my apprenticeship journey and how I found it, a little bit on kind of how I got onto apprenticeship in the first place. It was all from my dad. I really had no idea what I wanted to do when I left school in year 11. I always thought it was going to be the normal route, which is going down sixth form and then going to university, but always knew that I more so enjoyed the practical side. As I always loved art and design, DT, it was always my passion at school, but never really kind of knew what pathways I could go down. Didn't really know apprenticeships were there. So after year 11, I actually went to college and did an art and design BTEC, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Was going to go to university and do interior design, but thankfully my dad brought up about apprenticeships as he did one himself, specifically in engineering as well, and looked around on the gov.uk website and actually found that they were doing some at Jaguar Land Rover. Applied for the course and obviously thankfully got a position there and started in September 2021. The reason I chose JLR was because I've always loved their cars, always. I've always told myself I'm going to have matte black Range Rover. It was something I've always dreamed of having. So actually being able to work at a company which I love the cars for was something I was really passionate about and why I wanted to try get into that company. Within my role at Jaguar Land Rover, I went down the technical support pathway. So this is all to do with metrology, which is the science of measurement. A lot of my day-to-day activities are programming and operating robots to measure parts of the car, which is super exciting. Something I've enjoyed most about my role or just my time being on an apprenticeship is the amount of people that I've met within my facility. I've been able to get onto quite a lot of opportunities within JLR, meeting loads of new people, which has enabled me to communicate better with others and also gain a lot more confidence. Something I have found quite challenging throughout my apprenticeship was trying to balance my college work with my day-to-day job. However, it has come as a positive because it's enabled me to understand time management and how I can be more proactive with my college work and also fitting in my day-to-day job. But it also helps that my management at JLR have been very, very supportive and will always allow me to have time to go do my college work. Some top advice that I would give you all if you were looking at applying for apprenticeships here at Jaguar Land Rover or just in general is to just be yourself. It can be quite hard to push back those nerves and just allow yourself to be in that assessment or in that interview that you have. But I really just tell everybody to just try to be themselves, be as confident as you can, sell yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're there just as many as loads of other people who are going for that role, and you want to be the best person that you possibly can be. But at the end of the day, just go for it and just see what's right for you, because everyone's different. So yeah, that is my journey as an apprentice here at Jaguar Land Rover. I'll pass over to you, Chantal.
Thank you, Hannah. So great just to hear around your experience and just how much you've enjoyed in terms of that apprenticeship journey. And I think one of the things that you were really touching upon there that was around be your authentic self. And that is one of the key things at JLR is we have our tagline for our recruitment campaign this year is arrive as you are, achieve the exceptional. And that's really important, to be your authentic selves. But please do, as we said, ask questions throughout this session. This is where you're going to get the best opportunity today to ask our apprentices like Hannah their experiences to help to shape more around what you want to do and what you'd like to find out today. So in terms of what we are going to do now is we are going to move on to talk to you more around our degree apprenticeship programs. And firstly, we're going to talk to you around our applied professional engineering degree apprenticeship program. And this is delivered in conjunction with the University of Warwick. So if you're looking to join a prestigious university and you're interested in a traditional engineering route at the centre of automotive, this is the role for you. So for this apprenticeship program, you'll spend more time in the workplace compared to that advanced apprenticeship program. The delivery of study is over 4 years or so, and it is conducted in block release and study through a combination of online study, face-to-face lectures, and also independent learning each week. So with our degree apprenticeship programs, you will get 1 day a week that is a study day for you to be able to work through coursework, assignments, prepare for any examinations that you'll go through. In years 3 and 4 for this particular apprenticeship program, you will complete modules related to the chosen specialism. And in your final year, that's where all apprentices complete something called an endpoint assessment or an EPA. So as you can see on screen here, there are a number of different pathways available for you to choose from. So you have product design and development, you have control technical support, you have electrical or electronic support, and you have manufacturing. And you can only pick one of those pathways. So please do go away and read which pathway is right for you. So dependent on the pathway you choose, you might be involved in activities such as designing components for individual component testing to full vehicle validation, and your role there will be ensuring that they meet legal and sustainability requirements, making sure that they are able to be manufactured and assembled, and looking at aspects such as quality and more. You might be involved in things such as building skills such as software, so CAD, visualization software, which I know is something that does interest a lot of people. But you also could be involved in things such as building and maintaining lab cars and running testing. Or you could be involved in our manufacturing team, so designing and implementing production fixtures and making sure that they deliver the optimum output in our manufacturing teams. So in terms of for this apprenticeship program, as you can see there, again, is that conjunction with University of Warwick. And what I am going to do now is hand you over to Jaden to talk more around his experience on the program. So over to yourself, Jaden.
Hi, Chantal. Thank you. My name's Jaden Hughes. I'm a first year degree apprentice at JLR doing engineering. So unlike Hannah, a couple months ago, I was a sixth former myself, and I joined in September, and I was studying at sixth form maths, physics, and further maths. And let me just tell you a bit about myself. So JLR has always been a dream of mine. In fact, about 2 years ago, when I got into year 12, I had a friend whose dad was a manager at JLR, and he was just telling me about his experience, his 17 years, and I've never heard someone speak about 17 years at a job with such enthusiasm and passion. And that day I researched JLR and I found a degree apprenticeship. So why JLR and why was it my dream? It's because I'm quite an ambitious person. Um, like a lot of ambitious people, I was looking at Oxbridge University as a pathway. But then when I realized the degree apprenticeship is so much better, I changed that to JLR and I dedicated the next 2 years towards that. In fact, I do know some people within my cohort which have gotten offers from Cambridge University and have turned it down for JLR, which just speaks to how good of an opportunity this is. I believe it's the best start to a young professional career, and that's because there's so much opportunities to grow and develop with industry leading talent within your teams. They're so happy to help. Whenever I ask a question, people are so happy to help me. That kind of took me off guard at first because I was scared to, I guess, distract them or get in their way. But people are just so happy to help you and support you. Because of the large cohort and networking opportunities, like Hannah said, there's so many amazing people you can meet within your cohort. I think there was about 300 apprentices and about 100 grads. So you're going to definitely make a lot of friends. There's a lot of groups and communities you could join, socials, all of that. And it's just a great environment to be a part of. And then because of the brand's prestige, it just speaks for itself. JLR is a brand of luxury, and it's great to be a part of that. So what I enjoyed the most or found most exciting is the vastness of opportunities, like I mentioned. And I'll mention later on how I've been able to make the most of that within only being here 5 months. The freedom to create your own opportunities and encouragement of innovation. At JLR, they truly encourage innovation and creativity. So if you have an idea, I never felt scared to go out and try it or speak to someone about it. And that's something I really like as someone who's, I would say, has a lot of ideas. And you see later on with things I've started and founded or things I've asked about. And like I mentioned, the patience of colleagues and all, and the team around me. So what kind of things have I done already? So as someone who's very much into sports and I played basketball, American football, all these things my whole life, I realized there was a lack of them at JLR. So I went about making my own basketball community, and we started doing adverts, sending adverts around the company, and it was a huge success. We about 150 people in the first week, which I couldn't believe it. And then we started doing weekly scrimmages. That was such a huge success that we fast-tracked plans for a competitive team to this January. And we joined the Work Basketball League, which again was so successful. Now we're expanding to 2 teams. And it just goes to show not only is there a vastness of opportunities out there, but there's the freedom to create your own opportunities if you go out and do it. I was a DB for the Work Wolves American football team. So yeah, I started that. So there's a big misconception that degree apprentices don't have much social life, which is not true. I believe I have all the opportunities as a university student if you manage your time correctly. For example, you're able to join any of the university sports teams, such as American football. You could join the basketball, you could join running club, rugby, football, anything you want. Lost 2024 with the Work University. So that's a charity event, and they do plenty of events just like this, where you get taken to a mystery city in a blacked out bus. It's a bit like that Sidemen video concept, if you guys watch that, where they take you to a random location, you have to race back to London. But we have to race back to campus. And this year, it was Cardiff, was the mystery location. So they take you off in a blacked out bus, you wake up because you probably slept the whole way, and suddenly we're in Cardiff. And you have to race back to Warwick University without spending any money. And it's absolutely crazy that they're able to do that, and they do it every year to a different place. And we somehow managed to do it. We went all the way back without spending any money. We managed to get on a boat. As you can see on this picture in the middle, is a boat crew which gave us a boat ride for free. And yeah, it's just stuff like that, which is just amazing. All these things that you're able to do within just 5 months. I became a STEM ambassador and Outer Circle ambassador, where I get to do talks around the Midlands networking with all these different people. And yeah, so what have I found most challenging is keeping organized and energized with a packed schedule. You will have to get used to being completely fully booked. Um, and managing your time is very difficult sometimes. So let's say in the evening, you might have maybe 2 hours to revise for an exam you have next week. And if you were to slack off and not use those 2 hours, you might find yourself very disorganized and things start to snowball up. So just making sure you're on top of things, doing things when you have to do them, and creating a fixed schedule and actually following through with that is definitely the hardest part about the apprenticeship. And then balancing university, but obviously it's very worth it. And if it was easy, then everyone would do it. How did I find the assessment process? I found it challenging, but it allowed me to show off my skills. So you have to do a 10-minute presentation, which took me out of my comfort zone at first, but it teaches you to get better and improve, and it's something that creates confidence. And I feel like if you prepare well, you should have a good chance at it. And yeah, that's been my experience within my first 5 months at JLR. Hand it back over to you, Chantal.
Thanks so much there, Jaden. I think just really wonderful in terms of just hearing your experience so early on in the journey, a couple of months at JLR, but looking at the things that you've already been able to go and do and improve. And I think, you know, one of the emphasis that I think people worry about is a community, is being an apprentice and joining an organisation, and am I going to be able to go and make the same friends also as you would with going to university? And that is something that definitely there are a lot of apprentices at JLR, but also, you know, if you've noticed a gap like Jaden has, and he's passionate about sport, you know, how do you encourage and utilise that within your apprenticeship journey? Is that you can be an apprentice working on the job that you're passionate about, but two, you know, there's additional things that you can work on. If you're passionate around the culture, you're passionate around you know, a particular area like sport, there definitely is opportunities for you as part of that journey. So thank you for sharing that experiences, with especially being so early on in your journey in the apprenticeship programme. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about our other engineering formal programmes, so our Digital and Technology Solutions degree apprenticeship programme. And again, this programme is delivered with the University of Warwick. So this programme, often when I talk to people, it is really for those people that are interested in programming, coding, you enjoy working with data, and you really want to be at the heart of digital innovation. So for this apprenticeship programme, again, very similar to the previous programme, you spend more time in the workplace than you do at your training provider, so university. And that's one of the important elements that I'd like to express actually, is many of our degree apprentices do relocate as part of their journey. So if you are thinking to relocate, it wouldn't just be yourself doing that, but we definitely say relocate closer to your location of work rather than the university, due to the amount of time you'll spend at university versus in the workplace. But in particular for this apprenticeship programme, again, the delivery of study is over the 4 years. It's conducted in block release and study through a combination of online study, face-to-face lectures and independent learning each week. And again, you will get that 1 day a week study day. In years 3 and 4, that is where you will specialise in your chosen pathway, and you'll complete your apprenticeship in year 4 with your endpoint assessment. So here you can choose from one of 4 pathways. So you have software engineering with data analytics, and I'm pleased to share that this year we also have our cybersecurity back with us. So dependent on the pathway that you do choose, it will vary in terms of the activities that you would be involved in. But you could be involved in things such as software development for our in-vehicle computer systems to ensure they are performing at their best. And if we look at our vehicles now, they are essentially becoming more of a piece of technology. There's more and more technology going into the vehicle every day, every week, and that's where it's really important that we have software engineers. You could also be involved in things such as coding, so utilising tools such as Java, C++, MATLAB, but you could also be involved in things like programming. For those that are on the data analytics pathway, of course, the real fundamental is working with data. So you'll be involved in things such as data visualization and modeling, and also involved in things such as correlating and validating data to ensure that we're able to make the right decisions as a business. Or in addition to this, depending on the program that you could be involved in, you could be involved in utilizing technologies such as advanced software engineering, AI, big data, focusing on cybersecurity and more as part of the program. So in terms of, again, to give you that overview of one of our apprentices on program, I'm going to hand you over to Kushi to share her experience. So over to you.
Hi, so I'm Kushi. I'm a DTS degree apprentice in the software with data pathway. Like Hannah, I joined in 2021 and I'm in my final year, which is kind of crazy to me still. But yeah, I'm nearing the end of my apprenticeship and I just want to say the experience has been like phenomenal and I would definitely recommend applying. So why did I choose JLR? I think it's an amazing company in the automotive industry, and the value the company sees in technology and upskilling young people is honestly amazing. Sort of like Jaden, I was looking at Oxbridge, looking at other Russell Group universities, sort of thinking about more the university pathway rather than the degree apprenticeship pathway. But I'm so glad I applied to the degree apprenticeship because the way they sort of upskill you and support you, you wouldn't get that sort of level up in your career at such a younger age compared to if you just went to university. And like Jaden said, there's so much opportunity and you get the best of both worlds with you got all the same opportunities as a student at university and you've got the work side of things too, and you can really sort of enhance both of them. So sort of like Jaden, I've been part of a lot of societies and sports clubs at university. So I've at the moment I'm like the collaboration officer for the Warwick Women in Engineering Society, but as well as academic societies, I've taken part in sports clubs like tennis, archery, jiu-jitsu, and it's just been a lot of fun. And I think the best part about the apprenticeship is you just meet so many incredible people, make so many friends, and you're able to network with professionals at work and really learn from them and get some amazing advice that'll sort of set you up for your career. And yeah, so what do I normally do at work? So I sort of started in the navigation and routing squad. So I was learning about sort of AR technology, so augmented reality, and looking at how our vehicles could take sort of the next level. And yeah, I think it's so amazing that even within my team and talking to other teams, you get to get a huge range of sort of outlook on what different types of opportunities and roles and how everything sort of pieces together to a car. And yeah, the amount of technology that's sort of advancing even now, it's really cool to just hear about and know about all the different projects going on. So yeah, I think the best thing is sort of being around people who you sort of aspire to be and who also support you to get to where you want to go. I think, yeah, like it's been mentioned previously, the most challenging part is sort of getting used to the apprenticeship. It is sort of difficult managing both university and work, but the outcomes and rewards of it are like so much better than if you just took either route. But again, like it's not impossible to manage any of this. We've all been through it, so it's completely within your control, and you'll probably be able to do this pretty well. And in terms of like the assessment process, it can be a bit stressful. I was there and I definitely know what it was like just thinking about the different options I had and thinking, oh, is this even the right path for me? And sort of second guessing yourself. But the best thing is sort of just to go for it, apply, and just sort of put your best self out there. That doesn't mean being someone else. Just any experience that you've sort of done in the past, your own achievements and your enthusiasm would ultimately shine through if you sort of just give it your all. And yeah, I would definitely recommend a degree apprenticeship. So yeah. And yeah, I think one of the best things is sort of saying yes to something within the company or within this degree apprenticeship. You never know where it could help you grow, and you can never know where you could end up. So yeah, I'll pass it on to Chantal.
Thank you, Cushion. I think, again, just brilliant just to hear around your experiences on programme, especially one of the things that you were touching upon there that was really important was that support system that you had, you know, coming into JLR and throughout the duration of your programme. But I think also is that aspiration. There's a lot of fantastic, knowledgeable individuals within JLR that are wanting to support you on your journey, share their knowledge, share their experience to enable you to grow in your career and find opportunities that are right for you or things that you'd like to explore further. But again, I think you were touching upon there was around that be your authentic self when you come into our experiences, particularly in that assessment centre. And that is really important, is that, you know, from the beginning when you've applied, we've saw that you've got potential to bring you into the assessment centre if that is the stage that you reach it. Being your authentic self as part of that journey is really important. And I also think around the technology side of things that you're able to see at JLR, it is exciting. It's, you know, you are part of that journey and the development where we head as an organisation. And that is something that all of our apprentices can be involved in. So what we are going to do now is we're going to do another spotlight on one of our programmes, which is our Level 6 Supply Chain and Procurement programme. So this programme is only in its second year of adoption. So really pleased that we're able to bring this back again this year. But in terms of this programme, again, it's connected with a fantastic university, so the Aston University. And this role is if you're really looking to make an impact on helping us to secure critical goods and services that help to ensure our electrified future and evolving our future, and really help to enable something called our Reimagine strategy, which is our focus point. This is a fantastic role and opportunity to be involved in. So for this apprenticeship programme, again, you'll spend, you know, most of your time in the workplace, and you'll study through a combination of block release, online lectures, face-to-face lectures, and independent learning each week. As part of this programme, what will you learn? What are the things that you'll be involved in? So you'll learn more about what we buy, how we buy, and who we buy it. So you'll learn more around our suppliers that we utilise. You'll learn more around the exceptional products, the services that we provide. You'll gain exposure to our organisation and the supplier base, and you'll help to play a vital role in terms of new model programmes and major projects as part of it. But one of the great things about this programme as well is because of being supply chain and procurement, you get that exposure to a wide range of different areas within the business. So the procurement team, but you also get to learn more around manufacturing and supply chain as well. But this is also a great programme that is a good alternative for those that are potentially considering a finance career. Procurement is probably something that you don't talk about in school. It's probably something that isn't a term that you might utilise very often, but what the role is at the end that these team members will do is become a buyer within the team. So what I am going to do now is hand over to Ritika, one of our apprentices, to talk more about her journey, her experience, and hopefully bring to life more around what a procurement apprentice is at JLR. So over to yourself.
Hello everybody, my name's Ritika. So I've just joined on the supply chain and procurement programme at JLR. So just recently, well not recently, last June I finished my A-levels. I did maths, business and psychology. But during doing my A-levels I knew I didn't want to go to university. I didn't apply to university as a whole. I just knew I wanted to do an apprenticeship. So why did I choose to join JLR? It was more me talking around to people that I know, telling them I wanted to do an apprenticeship, and a lot of them recommended JLR because they might have known people that have worked there. They said it's really good, and I'd heard nothing but good things to say. Said it was a really good company, so they had really good apprenticeships. And when looking at the apprenticeships that they offered, I saw the supply chain and procurement program, and from doing some experience in a headquarters, I found out who buyers were in the first place, which was something quite intriguing to me because, again, like Chantal said, it's not something you might not have realised a company kind of has or does, or something you might not hear about. But kind of procurement items that a company needs was quite an interest of me, and obviously it comes alongside getting supply chain experience too, which I think they go hand in hand, and it just provides you really good experience. And obviously JLR have a really good product portfolio, so like the Defender, which is such a nice car share with one of my managers, and honestly just seeing it firsthand, it's so nice that you get to be part of a company that makes these like really luxurious items. And obviously hearing about the positive work culture and the excellent benefits, I just really wanted to join, and I knew this is the apprenticeship that I wanted to do, so I applied to this one. So what types of activities I get involved in? So prior to joining JLR, I didn't really know what to expect from the role. All I knew is I just wanted to kind of contribute and be like an asset to the team. But within my role, I've been placed in digital procurement. So in JLR, there's like many different types of procurement that you could do. There's like semiconductors, seats, wheels, but I'm in digital. So I think it's quite interesting because it's all of like the software behind the car and also in the business too. So you get to work with loads of companies like NVIDIA, which I'm in a placement now. So with these placements, I just go around different teams in digital procurement, but also I've been kind of given that opportunity to say if I want to experience something, I can, as long as it kind of goes hand in hand with what I need to gain from my apprenticeship. So I've asked to go on like a warehousing placement because that's something I'm studying in university, and my line manager has been so like helpful into getting that organised and sorted for me, which I think it was so nice just to knowing that you have that support within this role, kind of interacting with suppliers and stakeholder meetings. So stakeholders is anyone that kind of has to do with your kind of project that you're on about. So it might be engineering, you might speak to engineering or finance, and speaking to other suppliers kind of gives you really good experience because just different companies around the world, seeing how they act too. So you might kind of speak to a supplier in America and a supplier in Germany, and just speaking to all these different people just gives you that kind of experience of how to speak to them because they all interact differently. Also going on offsite days. So I have a home team, which is the digital operations team. So that's my home team. So after all my placements, I'll kind of return back to them, which kind of gives me a good base. So I've got like the same line manager and my same D grade supervisor throughout it all, which was something I kind of wanted before joining as well. I didn't kind of want to be moved around so much, so that's something I really like about it. But within my home team, we go on like offsite days, so we have like Christmas meals, and we also like volunteered together for a food bank, which I thought was really nice to be part of. And also just going on networking events with your cohort as well, so other apprentices that might be on the procurement apprenticeship and the supply chain one too. What have I enjoyed most, and what do I find the most exciting about my role? So again, I would say networking is really good. So like university, you get to meet loads of different people. So meeting people on your apprenticeship scheme and on other apprenticeship schemes too. And you're all in the same boat. So everyone's really welcoming, everyone's really nice. And you'll make some really good friendships here. You get to do stuff out of work too. And then being able to have like an impact by contributing to the project. So like I said before, when I wanted to join, I wanted to just have an impact and be able to do things that are meaningful, which all the tasks that I get, I do have impact on doing, whether it's learning or doing a process that needs doing. It just gives me really good experience too. And everyone has been so supportive, so welcoming. If I've got any questions, like everyone is just ready to help you, which I think is so nice. What have I found most challenging? I would say, especially when joining the company, there's a lot of like processes, a lot of tools that they use, which obviously like coming in, everyone's like so familiar with, and obviously I had no clue what they did. But and like I said, everyone's just so willing to help you learn. And obviously after a while you just get the hang of it and you just know what they do and it's like, oh, that makes sense. But I think coming into that, I'd say that was the hardest thing for me, because it is a lot, but obviously you're in here to learn. So you'll just get used to it, and everyone's willing to help you anyway. As long as you like know what you need to work on, it's fine. And also balancing the demands of work and university. So obviously with my apprenticeship, we have university on a Wednesday, and then occasionally we'll go in person, which I think is really nice because you also get to meet apprentices from other companies too and make friends with those. So you get to meet loads of different people and loads of different companies and just expand your network that way. But in regards to balancing them both, with university you get assignments, and obviously with work you get work, so just balancing them too. But I feel personally that most of the time it goes hand in hand with whatever you're learning and whatever you're doing at work. And obviously there's, again, like I said, with the warehousing placement, warehousing is a topic that we're doing at university, and my line manager and supervisor was so willing to just get me on a placement so I could learn some more, which would contribute to my university as well. So everyone's just helpful, but you do need to stay organized to make sure you just don't fall behind or anything like that. How did I find is the assessment process? So the assessment process had many stages, but everyone, like the early careers team, were really supportive throughout. You know, say if they hadn't like got back to you, they would get back to you. Any questions that you had, they would give it, which is something I felt the most supported by JLR throughout all of my all the apprenticeships that I applied to. I really felt that they were most supportive, and then they just kept with you throughout all the stages, and just shows they're a good company too. So it just really made me want to work for them too. But regarding just the assessments as well, I know like everyone said it, but it is true. Just be yourself. Like they will be able to see that you're being yourself, and it will just help you kind of go far as well. But showcase your willingness to learn, because a whole apprenticeship, whether you think it's like you're working, but you're going to be learning so much. And then when you go to university, you're going to be learning so much. So just show your willingness to learn and make sure you are willing to learn. Just, yeah, not just showing it. But yeah, I'll pass back to Chantal.
Thank you, Ritika, for just sharing your experiences there again. I think especially so early onto the programme as well, and being on one of our newest programmes as part of it. But I think there, so much that you were talking about there, and I think just your enjoyment that you can see of the apprenticeship programme that you're on in terms of the experience that you're getting in terms of working with a range of stakeholders and teams within JLR, but also that supplier base as well, where you're getting to connect with, our suppliers and even people across the world as well, which is fantastic as part of it. But I think, just really great just to hear there about, what really interested you around this programme. What are the things that you're being involved in, and just the diversity of what you're being involved in, and how you're connecting that to university with what you're studying around that warehouse kind of placement, and going and pursuing that opportunity so that you can learn more and apply what you're learning at university into a direct scenario within the business. And again there, as you mentioned, touching upon that real be your authentic self, that is the piece where it's going to be really fundamental, but also showing that you've got a willingness to learn is a really important part. As part of any apprenticeship journey, learning is really at the fundamental part of it. So we also do have a level 7 apprenticeship programme. We're not going to tap too much into this today because this programme has went live already and closed for our 2025 opportunities. But in terms of for those that are looking to pursue a career within finance, maybe looking for your SEMA qualification, this programme is a great rotational programme where you can be involved in things such as working with our business partnering teams, supporting commercial projects, delivering financial analysis and insights. And as I mentioned, that rotational element across a number of teams throughout the years of your programme. But for anybody that is interested in this finance apprenticeship programme, you will be able to go and register your interest on the website for the following year. So in terms of entry requirements, so the entry requirements are listed on screen here, but what I would emphasize is please do go and review the entry criteria on the website. There may be different entry criteria dependent on the pathway or the program that you are applying to. So please do read through that, double check in terms of what you'll be meeting in terms of entry requirements, and go from there with it really. So just important to reflect on there. The only program that you can apply to straight from completing your GCSEs will be the Level 3 Advanced Apprenticeship Programme. All of our other apprenticeship programs, the Level 6 and Level 7 onwards, will need you to have gone on to do additional study post your GCSEs, and a number of those programs in particular will be looking for A-level maths. So in terms of the application process, hopefully hearing from some of our apprentices there has inspired you. You've heard more around the programs and feel that there could be an opportunity here for you at JLR. So the first stage for us is that it is an online application that does have to be made directly via our careers website. You could see a number of people in the chat saying, are the roles live yet? Can't yet see them live. The roles are live on the website. So if you use a search functionality on the look at our jobs, they'll be there. But we're just in the process of updating the website, where you'll then see on the direct pages a link to the specific roles. So you can go and have a look on that search bar, or momentarily we will have those updates with those bars on the direct pages. But you don't need a CV and you don't need a cover letter to apply for our programs. It purely is an online application, and within that application you will be asked your motivation for applying for that role, and it's around 250 words or so as part of it. If you're successful in the online application stage, so you fill in the form correctly and you meet our minimum entry criteria, you would then go on to our online testing. So we conduct a number of different tests. So we have things such as a situational judgment test, aptitude test, so numerical, verbal, diagrammatical, and a match 6.5 test. But what you can see on screen here, and we will share this in the chat at the end, there is a practice test area available on our employability hub on the website, where you'll be able to experience what some of those tests are like to conduct. If you're then successful in the online testing stage, you then could be picked to go to our online assessment centre. And this is where you'll conduct 2 exercises. So you will do a presentation exercise. It overall lasts for 45 minutes, but you aren't presenting for 45 minutes. That does include time to brief you at the start, give you time to present and the team to ask questions as well. And then you also do a motivational and future focused scenario question interview. So this interview will look at why you're passionate around the particular role that you've applied to. But when we refer to future focused scenario questions, this is not based upon your past experience. You may utilise past experience to shape your answer, but this is looking at within JLR, you may face this situation. What would you do in this situation? And this is as a result of, we know that many of you will be in school or will be still undertaking your A-levels at college, etc., that it can be quite hard to gain experiences within a number of areas. So this will enable you to think about what would you do in that scenario. If you're successful in that online assessment centre stage, that's when you'll receive an offer, and the next steps then will then involve you coming to JLR, to one of our facilities, to get to meet the team, get to meet some of our apprentices, and potentially your manager too. One of the things that I did want to emphasise though is just our employability hub that we do have available on our website. This employability hub is fundamental if you're making an application. It talks around all of our stages and what you've just saw there on screen in more detail. It gives you lots of hints and tips throughout every single stage of the process. It has that important practice test area for you, and then there are also a number of videos, materials, etc., that also talk about something called our creators code, which is our organisation's values that you will be assessed against during your assessment process. So in terms of now, so the roles are live for applications today, as I did mention. So please do encourage you to go away and look at those roles. Hopefully we will receive some applications today. And please don't delay. But now what we do have some time is for any questions. So I think we can invite our apprentices to come back as well, who can support with it. And I'll hand over to Josh to cover off those questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. So I can see there's loads of questions in the chat box. Absolutely fantastic. We do have a limited time, so hopefully we'll get through as many as we can. If we did miss any, I do apologise, but we'll try and cover as many as we can. And I can see a lot of questions in terms of recording of the session. This session will be recorded and will be available on Career Map TV, the YouTube channel, within a week. We aim for, fingers crossed, early, but we'll do our best. But yeah, straight into the questions. So I see a lot of questions are kind of related on terms of the actual application. In terms of, going to the website, and a lot of people asking, is there any essentials that they should be looking out for? I was just wondering if someone can maybe elaborate a little bit more on the actual physical application process at the beginning, if that's okay.
So in terms of the initial application process also, one of the important parts is to have a look on the website around what role does interest you the most also, because you'll only be able to make one application. So as part of that online application, what is expected from you? You'll be asked personal details around your name, your email address, how do we contact you? You'll be asked details around your qualifications that you either have got grades for already or your predicted qualifications. You'll be asked some things around your motivations for the role also, so that is where that 250 words also comes into play as part of it. But it is relatively simple, straightforward, shouldn't take lots of your time, and as I mentioned, no CV or no cover letter required as part of it, so it should be hopefully seamless and smooth. And as I mentioned, the roles are definitely there for you all also. You can either go onto the website and look at the find a job and search jobs. You'll see the apprenticeship programs listed there, and we just are doing the very final tweaks and amendments. So when you go to the direct page, there's a level 3 apprenticeship program. Shortly you'll be able to scroll down to the bottom and it will have all of the listed roles for you there.
Spot on. So I've got another question here. It says, hi Ritika, what would you say success looks like in the first year of your apprenticeship? And I suppose I kind of want to open that up for the rest of the apprentices as well. If you can give me a couple of lines of what you think like success would look like for yourself, if that makes sense.
That is a good question. I think success, obviously, it's personal, but it's obviously what you and your line manager discuss. Obviously, like creating yourself some goals, whether they're like long-term or short-term, and then just going from there. Obviously, like my personal kind of goals and success was kind of expanding my network, joining. Obviously, like became a STEM ambassador. That was something outside for me, and just working on projects and making sure kind of tracking my impact on that, because we do have like tripartite meetings with our university where they kind of, I don't know if the other apprentices do, but I'm sure they do too, but it's when a coach from the university kind of comes in and then they analyse what you've been doing over like the past few weeks, and then they kind of look at you like success there and kind of what you've achieved, so they're quite good too. But I'll pass on to anyone else who wants to add.
Anyone else want to add to that?
I don't mind adding something. I suppose something that I kind of look towards as what success would be to me is that when I was at school, I did quite struggle with being in a classroom and felt like I was different to everybody else. So coming onto an apprenticeship and being able to work on a lot more practical activities enabled me to feel more in my element, which enabled me to get much higher grades than I got when I was at school. So that was a really nice way to kind of see how much my success has come from being at school, and just being more in my element where I am and getting my much better grades than I did at school has enabled me to gain more confidence, which is why I'm doing a lot more stuff outside my day-to-day job, like being a STEM ambassador, which allowed me to do quite a lot of fun things, as well as doing an event like today. And I'm also popping off to London after this as well, which is super exciting. So yeah.
Perfect. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to add, I think as part of the degree apprenticeship, success definitely would be just knowing how everything you're learning at university is actually applied in industry and how it is, which, yeah, is quite incredible when you do see that link It doesn't happen often, but sometimes it's completely there, and it's sort of amazing to see how the stuff that you were learning at university is actually applied to industry, and how teams are actually working with those methods or that sort of content in real life, which a normal university student wouldn't get. But yeah, also with networking, you can network with as many people as you want, but it's very important to network with people who are going to help you get to where you want to go, and that's going to be individual to where you want to sort of go. So at the end of the day, it's amazing to be surrounded by people who have similar interests and will push you to sort of be the best version of yourself sort of every day.
Perfect. And last but not least,
I would say at JLR, there's a lot of recognition, which I really like. So being able to be recognized for your hard work. For example, very recently I was put in the Propulsion newsletter, and that was a big deal, being featured so early on in my career here, and other things such as, being put in blogs and stuff like that. It's a lot of opportunities to be publicized within the company, within Viva Engage and different internal networks, but as well as external networks and advertisements, such as, even from this picture, this is my friend Josh in this picture right here, and he's been putting in a lot of work, and you see him everywhere. So you do really get recognized for the work that you put in, which is great to see. I say that would probably be what I would find successful.
Yeah, spot on. Thank you very much for that. So we'll swiftly move on to the next question. And I suppose this is more to do with the support around the application and when you're actually a successful applicant. What kind of structure is there? I think you did briefly touch on it before, but if you could do a little bit more of elaboration, maybe you've got a personal experience, that support network at JLR being an apprentice, if that makes sense.
I think personally for me, if I had any questions, I would obviously email the apprent at JLR. They'd answer any questions I had. Also, if there was any like delays in them getting back, for like results and stuff, they would already kind of email you before you had the chance to even realize that no one's emailed you. But also after as well, like straight after, they kind of sent updates, and also there was a really like big Discord with everyone after they had received their results. That just after they received that they had the apprenticeship. So if you didn't, it was before you received your results too. So there's a really big Discord with those different topics where you could get to know each other, ask loads of questions, have all your support, get to know people on your apprenticeship. And that was just right after you received, if you got it or not. And then also there was post-offer events that you got to meet people in person before you even ever started. So like before the first day, you kind of knew people that you were meeting, you knew who you were going to be involved with, what you were going to be involved with, which I think just kind of took some of that stress and anxiety off of me, because I knew what I was going to get into. I knew what to expect, kind of thing.
Perfect. Yeah. Anybody else?
I guess in terms of Ritika, I think you've covered quite a lot in terms of there. I think the main thing is to emphasise to anybody, if you are applying, considering applying, you've got any questions, please do reach out to the apprentice at jaguarlandrover.com inbox. That is where the recruitment team are there to support you as part of that journey. And I think as well, one of the things that I'd just like to express at that part is around anybody that is maybe looking for reasonable adjustments in any shape of the process. You will ask those questions in the application. You'll ask them before an assessment centre. But if there is any support also that you do need or that would help you to be successful in your application, please do reach out to the team.
Yeah, spot on. Perfect. So we are just about to run out of time. Apologies if we didn't get round to your question, but we did try our best. So I suppose in this last final minute, is it okay if I go to each one of you and just kind of give, your last tip that you'd give to someone that is thinking about applying for a role, if that makes sense?
One of the apprentices want to start first?
Yeah, I'll start. I think my ultimate top tip is sort of just apply. Don't overthink it. And sort of, yeah, there's no harm in applying. You might as well take the chance.
Jaden?
I would say to stay hopeful. So when I initially applied, I actually got rejected at first. However, a late offer. Even in the face of rejection, you could still have a chance to stay hopeful and yeah, just do your best and the opportunity will come around.
Ritika, over to you, Sam.
Yeah, again, I agree with Jaden, but yeah, just be yourself, be hopeful, just kind of give your all into it. And obviously, if you're nervous, got any questions, just get in touch and they'll support you throughout the whole way.
Super, thank you. And I guess the final one from recruitment is don't delay your application is one of the good tips, but also please do go away and utilise the Employability Hub. It's a resource there to support you, give you guidance throughout the process also, and hopefully make that journey a little bit easier for you. But thank you for having us here today to start off our journey to show more about our role. So thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for everybody that did turn up and ask questions. We really, really do appreciate it. I just want to extend that thank you to the JLR team for coming on and doing as good a job as they did. But yeah, as mentioned previously, this session is recorded and will be accessed, say, in a week or so on Career Map TV on YouTube. But that's everything from us. So I appreciate everybody and I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.